October is coming to a close, and we're rolling right into the holiday season for many of us around the world, so it's good to figure out now how you'll use your limited downtime around holiday parties. I'm Jackie Hawk, and this is Nami Nation by Kai's Corner Productions. This first piece of gaming news spans a few years, starting when the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, made a comment in 2023 about the decision-making for the business based on the projected growth for Xbox Game Pass sales. The way he talked about the expectations for those sales left quite a few people confused. The way he phrased his response had most of the fandom thinking the company could leave gaming behind by 2027, but the facts are that Microsoft has been getting more and more involved with the gaming industry since 2014, if not earlier, and took it particularly seriously starting in 2021. The projected sales for Xbox Game Pass seemed underwhelming to him, based on the time that they had chosen. The projections were estimated for 2029 to 2030, while he believed they would be met in 2026 to 2027, meaning he thinks the company will do better than anticipated. Of course, if those projections do end up being correct, it is possible that Microsoft would reassess the way they're approaching gaming. And it has been burning bridges somewhat, laying off thousands of workers while giving their CEO a hefty bonus and a pay raise measured in the millions. That said, if Microsoft has anything to say about it, they don't seem to be leaving the video game market anytime soon. On the subject of layoffs, difficult economic times have made it so certain companies are very comfortable laying off their staff and phrasing it in a prettier way when their PR team comes forward with it. One example of this was Humble Games, which is owned by Humble Bundle, a company that gets money for charities by selling bundled products online. Humble Games is a publisher with an indie game focus, and in early October, they partnered with Good Games Group, which was founded by the team that Humble Games laid off in July 2024. The baffling part of this is that accounts from the employees said that this team was made redundant with a third-party consultancy called the Powell Group. Over 30 team members were let go, and the Powell Group took over the projects they had been working on. But that does beg the question as to why Humble Games is now partnering with the game publisher founded by the very team that they fired. Overall, it does seem like the partnership is good-natured because it exists in the first place. The Powell Group will still provide assistance during development, but now the staff at Good Games Group are protected from a sudden layoff. The ex-general manager at Humble Games, Alan Patmore, worked together with former global publishing VP Mark Nash to found the Good Games Group. Patmore has seemed pleased with this partnership in interviews because he's proud to be working with indie developers he collaborated with at Humble Games again and glad to have more of a say regarding the future of Good Games Group. As another publisher who has had a lot of staff members leave, Annapurna Interactive is projected to release another game in early 2025 from the developer Messhoff. This indie developer made the Nidhogg fencing game series that has been reasonably popular. Wheelworld is colorful, exploratory, and full of world-saving stakes, set in a bicycling theme. And this action-adventure game does seem promising. Some people like the stylization and some don't, but the presence of Ghostbike, a magical courier trying to get his life back with the help of protagonist Cat, seems to have everyone interested in this open-world biking game. We'll see if Annapurna Interactive can bounce back with the release of this game next year. And on the subject of new games, Sonic X Shadow Generations had a trailer come out recently that sparked even more interest in this newly launched title. It's something fans have wanted for a long time, whether these fans were the steadfast type who stayed by the Sonic series or the disgruntled sort that felt they weren't being heard about the flaws in the original game and a few others in the series. Performance boosts and crisp visuals from modern technology will make the 2011 idea even better, with part of the game in 2D for the past version of Sonic and the other is in 3D for the modern version. There's also new content featuring Shadow, including different abilities for this ominous hedgehog, plus a new hub world to explore. Collectibles and bonus content must be a dream come true for the completionists that have wanted to dive into this game since it was first announced. If you are just in it for the Chow, consider the Pocket Chow Garden mobile app in the Google Play Store. It does have more of the nostalgic style that's not quite as modern and updated as this new remaster, but it should be just what you're looking for. Jumping to another new release from earlier in October, Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream is something that the Kai's Corner Productions team has been looking forward to. This co-op game has been fairly well received, complete with raids that let you work together with as many as 20 other players against challenging opponents. For narrative fans, there are 21 characters with different arcs in the SAO universe. The story element has been estimated to take about 20 hours of gameplay, because worlds collide in this game and open up a lot of potential, but not so much that it's overwhelming. For people who don't necessarily want to sink 300 hours into a narrative, that's more Baldur's Gate 3 and Hades 2. Varying roles and skills let you decide your playing style to suit the tastes of pretty much any gamer. Even so, opinions do seem pretty split, with some fans claiming it's the best in the series so far and others saying it's the worst. Some compared it to a mobile game that feels repetitive, while others said they'd happily spend all of their free time on Fractured Daydream. Those who did like the game still agree you should probably wait for a sale if you plan on buying the game. And while we're talking about talented individuals, the SAG-AFTRA union is still in discussions with the companies they have been working with. After 3 days of negotiations and an extension, there aren't really many details to share at this time, but we will be keeping an eye out for more information as it comes. As we bring this episode to a close, some finishing notes on Dragon Age: The Veilguard has more to do with cosplayers that are dedicated to this game. BioWare posted cosplay guides to all companion characters on Instagram at Dragon Age Game, so you have plenty of resources to figure out all the little details that go into various character designs in this game. Take a look at the EA website and you should be able to find all of them there, or go right to that Instagram post. The Vows and Vengeance podcast finished up on October 17th, totaling to just over 4 hours of audio content, and that should help tide you over while the release date gets closer and closer. In the podcast, they have a unique protagonist, a former thief Nadia Carcosa, and her lover Elio. The narrative showcases all 7 companions from Veilguard, so if you are undecided about who you might romance, this could help tip the scales and make things a bit easier for you. Of course, being Dragon Age players, we all know that more than one playthrough is inevitable. There is also an unofficial charity calendar Dragon Age Annual, with physical pre-orders open until the end of the month, and digital pre-orders open until January of next year. All proceeds from this unofficial project go to War Child UK to help support their efforts in providing aid and education to children caught up in conflict. Stay updated with us here by subscribing to anywhere you listen to your podcasts, and check out the KKP YouTube channel for other entertainment content. I'll see you next time, and feel free to comment with any news items you're curious about.